Hey everyone, and welcome to our today's SIG release meeting. This meeting adheres to the CNCF Code of Conduct, which basically boils down to be mindful what you said. Please add yourself to the list of attendees, and thanks again to Joseph for taking notes today. We have a fairly light audience, and I don't see anyone on the call who seems to be new, so I think we can skip this topic point. But nevertheless, I think we can probably get some sub-project updates. Do we have anyone from release engineering who would like to provide us an update on that?
I'm here, but I was out for the past few weeks, so I'm not up to date on any of the progress so far.
Yeah, maybe we can just highlight the enhancement about the OBS implementation. So I have it in the chat. So this one needs some final review so that we can start working on it. We are still past enhancement freeze, but this is an out of 3 enhancement, and we can nevertheless still get the update to the enhancement merged and start working on the OBS implementation itself. And I think Marco requested multiple times review, but I think there was some additional feedback. Yes, exactly, last week. So I'm kind of convinced that we can merge it sooner than later and then start working on that. Unfortunately, Marco is not on the call.
Okay, I can for sure take a look and drop some comments if I see something, but I see that it has been reviewed fairly extensively.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. All right, I don't have anything else. Do we have any other topics regarding release engineering?
Well, I just have an update. So one of the projects that I wanted to kick off in this first quarter was resuming the generating attestations for our builds, and I've been feeling pretty I don't know, like responsible, because there are other projects that are looking up to us to get that work done so that they can reuse our tools and also share some knowledge and feedback into what we're building. And so I think it's time to kick that up a notch on the development. And so the initial plan would be the salsa tester was written last month, and the plan was to merge code that Mohammed has been developing 4K native, because he already has working code to extract information from Prao about the builds that it runs. So we could integrate those two into one single attester that not only understands GitHub Actions and Cloud Build like it does now, but also can query Prao to get information. So I need to sync back with him to see how that's going, if it's in a workable state, and we can maybe merge the project. And then in parallel, maybe start using the attester to generate attestations for the projects that we have that are maybe simpler, like I don't know, maybe try it on Zeitgeist or one of those other smaller SIG release projects, and then start ironing out bugs that we find, and then finally moving it up all the way to use it at Kubernetes itself. I just started kind of putting together this work, and I plan to start before the month runs out, starting testing it in one of the repositories. So if I'll try to share the updates as I go in the channel, and if anybody is interested in helping me around on that one, please let me know.
Yeah, cool. That sounds pretty great. I'm already pretty interested in that, because there are other, as you already mentioned, there are other projects, and for example, the security profiles operator, which is sponsored by SIG Node, we are trying to find out how we can achieve SASA compliance. And we are already using the infrastructure of Kubernetes. So hooking into that process is probably the easiest way for us to get it done.
Awesome. Yeah. Let's think back later and how we can also maybe start running it in those releases.
Cool. Any further release engineering topics? I know that we are having some ongoing PRs out about moving to registry K8s.io. I would assume that they are just in flight and don't need further attention, right?
I haven't been up to date. Maybe Arno, maybe I see Arno's on the call. Maybe you're familiar with the update. So when I went on PTO, the thing that was just filed was the KEP from to freeze the registry. So I think that I just took a quick look yesterday, and it has been reviewed a little bit already. So, but I think most of the I have to show up at the K8s infra meeting, the next one, to see, just to sync on how it's looking. But before the KEP, we had already discussed the implementation, so it should be mostly frictionless.
Yeah, for example, we have something like this PR. And there was also a discussion or an issue opened by Ben about phasing out. Yeah, it was phasing out old content in the registry. And there was a lot of feedback about this one. So my idea was to just let the dust settle and then find a conclusion what we want to do with that.
Okay, yeah, this one seems like, yeah, this also dates back to discussions.
Yeah, exactly.
Months ago, yeah. So
yeah. Okay. If we don't have any further release engineering topics, then do we have anyone on the call who would like to provide us an update on the release team?
Yeah, I can chat about that. It's quiet right now. We're past enhancements freeze. So things are pretty common to lead up to code freeze. It's a weirdly chill release overall. I didn't get a single exception request after enhancements freeze, we only lost 9 after enhancements freeze. So I think the total number of tracked is in the 80s. It's going to be a big release, and which normally I would think would equate to a chaotic release cycle, but things have been very calm. So just a weirdly good time all around. Yeah, we'll see how things go in the lead up to code freeze. Yeah, especially with the number of tracked enhancements that we have. But for now, things are good. On the topic of the registry, we are going to be highlighting that as one of the major themes of the release. And so I've asked the communications team to make sure that that's included in the release blog as like a notable thing to draw attention to. And then we also talked about adding it to the release notes. I think the current release notes lead was doing some looking into like how we can manually add that to the release notes. But I did, I think as long as we have it highlighted as a major item on the blog, I think we'll be okay. Yeah, that's kind of where we are right now.
Cool. Thank you for this update. Any other topics regarding the release team? All right. Thank you. So then we can just jump over to the open discussion topics. What directly came into my mind was I kind of got approval for traveling to KubeCon EU, and I know that others have problems getting budget approval. But in general, I was thinking that we probably could do something like we did in Detroit, having a hangout and get together. I think the format of the meeting was pretty great somehow. We had a lot of discussions which led into some actions. I'm not sure. What do you think about this? Otherwise, we can the schedule from the contributor summit is not been announced yet, but the registration is open, so I could just reach out to them and ask for a time slot.
Yeah, I think having another one like the previous one would be great. So I would suggest that we start seeding the conversations that we want to have during the get together. And I think also doing some outreach, because I feel that it was like a really great time for people who were not that involved or maybe not even familiar with SIG Release that just happened to show up in the room. I think, well, I would like to think that we kind of welcome them, and maybe doing some outreach to contributors in general, just to let them know that we are going to have this get together, and if they want to come and hear about our issues firsthand, would be a great time.
Yeah, I think we should do something in Amsterdam as well. I felt the dialogue was really good. It could also be an opportunity, as Adolfo mentioned, where perhaps everybody's not up with our work streams. So it's also a good time. Maybe we roll up some of the major themes that we are working on, so that people can find an on-ramp into SIG Release or ways to support us. So I say +1 to it.
Yeah, interestingly, maybe we can do both. We could do something like a regular meeting, which is more informal and open for discussions. And then we could also prepare something like an onboarding guide to SIG Release. So how to contribute to SIG Release on multiple layers. So we have technical, non-technical elements of SIG Release. So I have no idea on the registration of the contributor summit. Was there a field or something like this where we could propose content? I don't think so. I have to double check that.
There's you can pop into the summit staff Slack channel. It is public. Yeah.
I'm on the content team. It's a little behind. Jason Tavares is running it. I think this week he should be announcing kind of like the CFP and everything related to that.
Yeah, that's great. That's good to know. Thanks.
Yeah, so we could like bring like ideas for the topics to discuss for our next call, and then put together like a more formal program, and then share it out wide.
Yeah, sounds good. I can take care of that. I know that Marco and Veronica will also present for SIG Release, so they will be there as well, probably. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Do we have any further topics we would like to discuss? Oh no, you have a hand on.
Yeah, hi. I want to ask what's the latest on the OBS integration. I'm not sure if there was like something that's need to be done. So I'm curious if we made progress about this.
Yes, so Marco has this PR in place about updating the enhancement. And the enhancement basically states that we want to provide something, some mirror of the current infrastructure with respect to what we release. and then integrate this into Krell by using the OBS API. So that's the goal. I'm not sure if we can achieve it for 127, but yeah.
Okay.
So there's a risk that we have to delay this. But in general, the idea is to have an experimental state where we release everything in parallel, and then we can decide if we want to switch over or not, so that we can just test it out. But building the packages itself will be done in the same way as we do it now. So we will not use the distributions, for example, for bundling the artifacts and building Kubernetes in OBS. It's more like building the binaries as we do it now, and then bundle those into Debian and RPM packages. So this will not change.
Hello?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Oh, hi there. It's Mohammed. I joined a bit late.
Hey.
I see Adolfo's back.
Yeah, I was just talking about you, Mohammed. Let's finish with this subject, and then I can.
Okay.
Yeah. Do we have anything else regarding this subject? Otherwise, I will hand it over to Adolfo. The stage is yours.
All right, thanks. Yeah, so before you joined, Mohammed, we were discussing about restarting the generation of attestations in our projects. So the idea would be just to kick again the development and implementation of the attester that's already built. And so I was wondering, remember that we discussed at some point that we should integrate your work querying PRAO for Knative and maybe importing that to add support for PRAO into the Kubernetes attester. So I was wondering if the state of that, and if we can maybe start the integration, or you need any help on that, or how is it looking?
Oh, okay. So, that's a good question. So the latest on the salsa work for Knative is as follows, right? So right now we do generate an attestation. I wrote some tool that does it. And then we sign it and attach it next to the image, right? So that's like salsa 1 and 2 done. Now the next bit is salsa 3, I can't do that anymore. A third-party service has to verify this attestation that I'm attaching and then attach it as a separate process. So that bit, I haven't done it yet. Been a little busy on other things, and it's a little bit complicated.
And the attestation that you have running now was the project that you showed me months back, where you extract all of the information from PRAO and then.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, we query the PRAO jobs and get some of the metadata from the environment, and then generate the attestation, sign it, and stick it to the image.
Awesome. Yeah, cool. So yeah, so I'm gonna take a look at that one and then see if I can import it, or maybe just borrow the code and move it over here, whatever. I'll let you know.
All right, cool.
And again, if anyone is interested in helping out with that one, it's gonna be, I don't know, I like building those kinds of things. So and also makes it even happier if I can share the development with someone.
Cool. The image freezing is coming along rather well. Most of the info changes is almost complete. I hit a little snag last night where the job that copies the blobs over to S3 had like a mismatched identity, so fix that. And then I will be in a position where I can start modifying KPerm. So yeah, I think we're on track.
Sounds great. And I need to catch up on that, and so I'll start showing up again in the K-Team meeting. So if there's something that you feel that I can help with, just let me know.
Oh, well.
All right. Anything else regarding any topic we would like to discuss? Because we have a rather small audience today, I will give you around about 20 minutes back. Thanks for taking notes again. See you all in the next meeting, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
See you, everyone.
Bye.